It's the fucking new year. I get the first and only F1 for this episode.
Oh, fuck that.
What the fuck?
I'm Grumpy Dungeon Master Christopher. That was Grumpy Dungeon Master Jay.
No, that was not me. This is me.
That's you. And then we have two other schmucks in the room.
Yep. Not three.
Go ahead.
Three.
Late as always, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Schmuck number one.
Which one is number one? Let's start.
Whoever speaks up first.
Oh, okay.
I'm schmuck number one. I'm Drew.
All right. Hey, Drew.
I'm schmuck number two, Jacob.
I guess that leaves me being schmuck number three, Mike. How are y'all?
Hi, guys.
We're doing great. And who the hell are you guys?
I'm Bobo.
I am the bane of my
why are
DM's
you
existence.
here?
Yeah.
My existence.
I will cover for them since they are my players, unfortunately. These guys are three of the five from my own D&D campaign. May Lord save us from this one.
Wait, is this another one of those episodes?
It is. Wait, what's the name of the episode, Waples? Because
Hold
you're the only one who has it written down in front of you somewhere right now, directly in front of you. Oh yeah.
It's a time for the end of the year Grumpy Dungeon Master special. The Grumpy Dungeon Masters present the Grumpy Player special. Grumpy Players react to Electric Boogaloo.
Yes.
We missed the end of the year.
Yeah. Well,
It's the first one for the new year. So, and you guys had scheduling problems. Ooh.
Yep. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to schedule these things at Christmas and New Year's. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you try hard enough.
Well, we made it work. We'll just make this for. Honestly, with Betty White passing, we didn't want to do this in 2021 anyway.
Fair enough. So I guess I'll get started and actually ask the first couple of questions. So how is Jay as a dungeon master? Is he as bad as I think he is?
No, actually, I would have to disagree. He's one of my favorite people to play for.
Yeah, I agree with you, Drew. He's created a really intriguing universe for us to absolutely destroy as we see fit, and we take it upon ourselves to give him ever-loving hell, and I think he enjoys it.
I keep fucking running for you guys, so I guess so.
Blink twice if he's holding your family hostage or your characters hostage.
We don't have.
No, he doesn't hold
webcams.
characters hostage. He just kills them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, technically, he killed every dang one of us at the same time, no less.
I've killed. I guarantee you, I've killed at least one character for all of you guys because I ran a one shot where all of you died. So.
That's how you started this campaign we're in now.
That is also true. Every one of you died at the beginning of this campaign.
And it's Mike that's the other DM, right?
No, it's Johnny, who unfortunately cannot make this one as he is currently sick.
Okay.
We'll get him on another time.
Wish him. Well, he filled in once, so he's already been on.
Yeah, well, that's fine. We'll get him to come in another time and bullshit with us anyway.
So
somewhere down the road.
So all in all, how was your guys' years of D&D? How was all
great.
Your games this year's?
Since we actually got to play back in person.
Oh yeah,
at least a 200% improvement.
I couldn't do that online stuff anymore.
Well, that's because you drank entire bottles of whiskey while you were playing.
Half bottles and only like twice.
Yeah, we were all at our wits' end with trying to do that online. It worked for a while, but it was never as good as in person.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about like Frost Maiden. Like it would have been a lot better in person. Maybe that way the emotional impact would have kind of built a little bit more. But you guys went through Frost Maiden, right? How was it?
Yes, we did. It was a lot of fun, actually.
Oh, what? He's doing the robot thing again.
Oh, crap.
It was a lot of
My
fun.
bad.
We got way more into our characters than I thought we would.
Yes, very much so.
And having access to a constantly updated map that everybody can see at the exact same time was pretty nice. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah, that was nice. There was no questions about where anybody was or anything like that.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the things long term. Oh, go ahead, Drew.
I was going to say, I got an owlbear. It was great.
That is true.
Sounds a little drunk.
Yeah, that is one of the long-term goals I have for DMing is to get a tabletop that actually is one of those screens. You've seen it where they take the television, sort of lay it flat. I would love to have a map like that, just a tabletop where you can just change the map as you go while playing in person.
Yeah, I've been looking for some wood workers that could do that, because all you need is at the point just a crappy TV that you don't mind, and just make the wooden frame for it and you're done.
Yeah. And I can get TVs real cheap.
So going back to Frost Maiden, you guys, I think we discussed it like a ton of times on the podcast, where your group was actually like lawful good for the first time ever, and my group was lawful evil just because they were bastards and wanted to kill everybody.
Let's be clear, my group was never lawful good, but they were good guys in the sense that they were actually invested in Icewind Dale. Like there were some
robots.
Yep.
I'm not even sure I would call your group, Jay, a cohesive group. 90% of the time we were at each other's throats.
We only worked with each other because we cared about the towns.
Johnny's character hated everybody equally.
So
my first character loved everyone.
And what happened to him?
Oh, y'all didn't listen to him.
So, what is it about Jay's playstyle that gets you guys invested?
How creative he is with all the voices he comes up with. No sarcasm there.
See, I like all of his names he comes up with for NPCs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have the best naming system. They know that.
Bob, Steve, Dave?
Yeah, Bob, Steve, Dave.
Sarcasm aside, for me, it's the amount of apparent thought and planning that Jay puts into his storytelling. It's obvious that he has a story to tell. He has an arc that he wants to present to us. And he manages to herd the cats very well into telling the story that he wants to tell. It seems to us, to me, like he's actually put a lot of thought into it. And that's something I can really appreciate.
That was why I didn't run this past weekend, because I have the story, but I haven't got it curated yet.
Go ahead. What are you going to say, Jacob?
It's mostly just how he likes to just blindside you with something. Like, we think we're going to go and start helping with our rebellion that we're planning. Nope, you're going to have to go on an escort quest with these 5 hobgoblins who you can't say you're not involved with, or else you're going to get in trouble.
Yep. Threw that one right in your lap. You were not ready for that shit.
I was not.
See, I think this is where he and I differ. I just present the scenario and my players go completely crazy. I mean, you guys go completely crazy sometimes too.
I let them do what they want. I wholly let them do anything they want to do. Yeah, I may have to wing shit, and they know that. But if Jacob had decided to say, no, I'm not going to do this, okay, we'll see where things go from there.
His play style is fuck around and find out.
And we usually do F around.
Yeah, I want you guys to do what you want to do. I'm just going to give you direction, and how you get there is up to you.
And considering most of my characters are the very embodiment of chaos, yeah, sure, I'll have free reign.
Yeah, that's how we're in this campaign to start with, because you play characters that are fucking wild and chaotic.
It's not my fault.
Kind of is.
Actually, it is.
I mean, yeah, it's 100% your fault.
Yeah.
So let's go to the things that you don't like about the.
Okay, bring it, please. I'm all for criticism.
specifically to the Frostmaiden campaign, because I kind of want to know, like, what we talked about it a lot. So what specifically did you guys do and just kind of like maybe were upset by or confused by or something along those lines?
The only real thing I would say was at some point he just decided not running random encounters while we were traveling anymore. Which I know that was to save like time and all that, but it kind of just made the world feel a lot emptier.
Fair.
Not necessarily a criticism against Jay, but more against Watsy for leaving these campaigns that they've obviously spent some effort into, and they've obviously trying to tell a story, but they never write a conclusion. I want an ending to these stories, dadgummit. And you don't ever get one when you're running any of their campaigns.
Yeah, because you've run a couple of them, haven't you, Mike?
I have. I've run the first one, the Tyranny of Dragons, Storm King's Thunder, and the Brain Fart one. And Storm King's Thunder was great. It was fun, but again, it didn't really feel final. Tyranny of Dragons kind of felt final in that, yay, congratulations, you banished Tiamat, spoiler alert. But it still says, okay, go out and have fun in the world.
Yeah, they do like to leave them sort of open at the end from what I've seen. And I've only run the Icewind Dale one, but even it was just left open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of have to do that in a way because, if they start saying that these are the big events that happen, then they start writing themselves in the holes. But we kind of mentioned that in the podcast over this last year.
The Underdark.
Probably wish they actually
campaign.
had,
that's another
really
one I
good,
ran.
solid endings. And the worst part is with Frostmaiden, it's in timeline wise, it's before Storm King's Thunder. So
yeah,
I guess you just have to assume that the Frostmaiden and the Rime just disappeared in the 1 year between Frostmaiden and Storm King's Thunder.
And Storm King's, by the way it reads, sounds like it takes place at the exact same time as Tiamat, which takes place at the exact same time as the Underdark game. It's like they're all taking place at once, except for Frostmaiden, which is kind of over here doing its thing.
Well, Baldur's Gate happens later. I know that much.
Okay.
They gave a specific date for when the major city gets pulled into Avernus to start the whole campaign. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Did not know that.
Yeah, that one we were going to play. I think we got to do 1 or 2 sessions of it, and then that just sort of fell apart because it's hard to run games multiple times over the course of a weekend. So.
Yeah.
That one stopped because of the disease that shall not be named.
The Rona?
Yeah. Tiger Woods Mystery Tour. So, being players, I know you guys like to min-max a whole bunch. At least some of you do.
I take offense to that.
As Drew begins laughing.
Not at all. I just create wizards that have stupidly high constitution scores that irritate Jay.
I don't mind, man. I've never minded that. I'll just hit you with things that aren't constitution based.
You very seldom hit me.
That's fair.
So you guys make a lot of characters that are min-max, and when we were kind of chatting before we started recording, I think Drew mentioned that of all the characters you guys have that you all remember are the 2 that he didn't min-max. So what were those 2?
Grimnar and Thorn.
No, those were the 2 that were min-maxed.
No, they weren't.
Those are the 2. Yeah, they were. Fucking Grimnar was super min-maxed.
Not really.
Or when my campaign wrapped up at level 20 and you were playing Thorn, I think your lowest stat was a 16.
No, it was
an 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your lowest stat. And mind you, this is partly on me because I was not using limitations on how many magic items they could have. So he had the one that gives him bonus wisdom, the one that gives him 18 intelligence, and so forth. So that's partly on me. But
he had 4 20s.
Yeah. But he had 4 20s.
Giggity.
Not min-maxed. If they're all 20s, it's not min-maxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's not min-maxing if they're all 20s. There's no min. It's just all max.
Exactly.
Truthfully, I didn't care that he had those stats because I just threw shit that was that difficult at them. So,
except me and Johnny, one of my favorite times was when Johnny's character Grigori, me and him were hetero life mates. We were Jay and Silent Bob.
Still are.
And we split the party, and the rest of the party goes one way, and me and Jay are like, all right, well, me and Johnny are like, well, we'll go down this hallway ourselves. And we completely obliterate it within 2 turns, and we're sitting at the end of the dungeon waiting on the other guys to get there. Like, what took you so long?
I have short, stubby legs.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now Grimnar, on the other hand, who I've definitely talked about on this podcast at least a couple times, was Grimnar started in 3.5 as a frenzied berserker. Why did you pick frenzied berserker, Drew? Why did you opt with that class?
Because I wanted to hit stuff really hard.
Right, yeah, and everyone knows, anyone who's played 3rd edition for any length of time knows that class is incredibly broken. Incredibly so. We fought a Terrask, and you killed it in 1 turn or 2 turns?
No, it was 1 turn.
1 turn at level 20.
I think it was 1 shot.
No, it was 2 shots.
No, it was. I had to use up my full action to actually take him down. But I mean, I had been blessed. I had been enlarged. I had been every damn thing.
It was over
Legendary
800
monster.
damage. It was over 800 fucking damage.
Yeah.
So legendary monster that's been sleeping for thousands of years wakes up to terrorize the countryside, and
then there's a Tarrasque.
Yeah.
I shot out the back of a mountain doing like what? I think we calculated it at like 92 miles an hour running to that damn thing.
Yeah, something like that. After
carrying the paladin in full plate.
Piggybacking him, by the way.
Yeah, after being dimension doored halfway across the country. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yep. That's it's fucking superheroes. Let's be honest. We were playing superheroes.
No, when Bobo and Grimnar had to fight the Baylor.
Oh, that was a good time.
That was fun because we got the shit kicked out of us.
We walked in to fight the Baylor. It uses some sort of breath attack or something that paralyzes all of us, and it fucks us up.
Horribly.
We barely managed to escape. And we go to take a rest, and the DM tells us, I think it was Johnny, tells us that we forgot to level up before, so he lets us level up then. And then we walk right back in, and Bobo and Grimnar just like 3-shot this thing with crits back to back to back.
So the specifics of that encounter were we went in here to fight this, I think it was a Baylor, is something of that power level. And apparently they can cast Blasphemy. And this was still 3rd edition. So Blasphemy, it's a lot of fucking damage. It is nasty. And it just levels everyone in the group except for me, if I recall right, because I was still standing outside. So I come in, grab all of the bodies and dimension door the fuck out before it can take me out. The reason it was able to do that to you guys was it went first in the initiative.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then we rest up, level up, come back, and then you guys went first in the initiative. And that was it. That was all it took.
Bash Brothers.
The knees.
Yep, the Paladin and the Frenzied Berserker just fucked that thing up. War stories in D&D. Gotta love it.
I mean, that's what it's all about, you know. Coming back 4 months later. Remember when you killed all of us? Yeah. It was
Remember
awesome
time? Remember that time Mikhail turned into a dragon, Bobo one-on-one Tiamat, Grimnar one-on-one to an army?
And you beat up Orcus. Or no,
it wasn't one-on-one. It was one on like 100,000.
Sometimes Drew doesn't even have to use a weapon, though.
See, Waples, have you ever played in a campaign like that that's that high powered?
I mean, it's Star Wars campaign, but I'm not really counting that because it was just stupid overpowered.
Yeah, that was a whole other thing.
But I mean, you're also diverting a lot from the book too. You know, multiple magic items and stuff like that. That wouldn't be allowed normally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't run that because I don't. I think it's fun to have one versus a whole army. That's what the minion monster type is for. But it kind of loses all interest, I guess, for the people watching, the people listening, and the other players when it's just like, well, okay, what are you gonna do? All right, we're gonna start and fight the Terrask. Okay, you killed it in one hit. Huh.
Yeah, see,
okay.
Now the thing is with the Terrask, that was sort of a final hurrah from 3.5 because we were switching to 5th edition after that. That was sort of the wrapping up of that initial campaign, if I recall right.
Yeah.
So we were just having a little fun with that one.
Right.
Don't get us wrong. Like, we definitely had a lot of fights, even with those stupidly powerful characters. We've had plenty of fights that went badly.
As a matter of fact,
the
first game when we did switch over to 5th edition, we were still 20th level at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But we walk in and level 20 Grimnar, who took down the Tarrasque in one hit, drops to an intellect devour.
Yeah,
dead right there.
Just failed two saving throws right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean that's what I like about Fifth, because everyone can still die. Just need to find the right thing. So we talked about all of Jay's good things and all of Jay's bad things. And I think I'm good. Let's hear some more stories, and that's what we're here for today. Let's go with Mike. Let's hear a good story you have of Jay as a DM, and it doesn't matter when or where.
Thus begins the tales of the noodles.
I have no idea what you're talking about. There's only one of me.
What's
not my fault. That's not a catchphrase. That's just the verbal component to casting mirror image. We're many.
Oh, that's right. That's how that started. Yeah.
That's how that stupidity started. Yeah. Go ahead, Jay, or me.
I was just
no, Mike's going to talk because Jay talks all the time. I'm trying to get him.
He does?
It's hard, man. It's hard. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Geez. I'll let you run this.
Oh God, yeah, I get to run a podcast. Now, like I alluded to earlier, the entire starting event of the current campaign we're in is apparently at some point there was a time traveling me that came back to the past to tell me something about changing the future. Blah blah blah. You got to do this, that, and the other, and I didn't believe him. I was thinking of it more as a curiosity or an angry little cat that just keeps knocking shit over in my house, and didn't treat him with the respect he deserved. And apparently he got angry and killed all of us, lured us into the middle of the forest, killed all of us, exploded half of the countryside, and now we find ourselves in completely different bodies, 600-something years in the future, and my friends no longer like me because I killed us. But it wasn't me. If that makes sense.
That's it in verbatim. Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah. But it wasn't me.
Yeah, there's definitely more to it than that, but that's what you guys know thus far.
The running joke of we are many is now exploded into apparently there's an entire city full of multiple variations of my character, and we exist in a truly multiplanar form. But the original one has no comprehension or understanding of that, and is actually a really terrible divination wizard.
That's true, yeah. You're much more of an evoker, despite the fact that you're a diviner.
Yeah. Piss poor character creation, but at least it made good memories.
Yeah. I mean, look, you threw, because I was running up at the comic shop, you just threw that shit together on a whim and ran with it. And here we are a decade later, and you're still playing it.
It was the first 5e character I ever made.
All right, Drew, what about you?
Him.
Me? A story? Okay. Yeah. So there's one time when Thorn and Company, we're sent to kill a politician or something, the mayor of a small town. He's a bad guy. He's not doing right. So we're wanting to be secretive about this. We don't want everybody to know what we're doing because we don't need them to know that we're the ones that killed the mayor. So we stop off at this bar and we ask where the mayor's at.
Oh God!
I knew it was going to come to this.
Yep.
The bartender, he gladly tells us where to find the mayor. So we get there and there's a couple of guards outside. So I don't remember who threw the first fireball. It was probably Noodle.
It probably was. That's a safe bet.
But the secret mission that we're supposed to go on and keep it hush hush ends with about 15 different fireballs leveling this place. We nuked it. So
I think I
since
only
we
threw
made,
one.
I may have thrown 5. I don't know. So since we did not do it hush hush like we were supposed to on our way out of town, I'm like, hold up. We've got to make sure nobody saw us because we made a very large fire. So we stop off in the pub and it's like, all right, I'm gonna set a stack of gold up here on the bar and slide it over to the bartender and let him know you never saw us. The bartender would not take the bribe.
That's why you leave bribing up to me, Drew.
So everybody goes to walk out of the bar because, well, there's nothing we can do here. And Thorn just gladly walks over to the door and holds it open so the entire party can walk right on out the door. The moment the last person walks out the door, I, sprinkle the blood in a circle on the ground and summon a demon and then close the door behind us and walk on out.
Now to which to keep a kill a demon.
To which the entire party turns around because they hear the screaming and tables breaking and giant gorilla. And then they all look at me like I did something wrong.
You summoned a demon.
He didn't take the bribe, okay? That's not on me, that's on him.
He was innocent in this entire affair. You destroyed his entire bar.
He should have took the bribe. No witnesses.
We're gonna kill every single person in there.
You know what? It's still a stealth mission as long as no one saw you.
And that is Thorn. That's Thorn in a nutshell.
But is it though? Because you leave behind evidence that a crime happened.
Not if you burn the entire place down.
They already did.
If you burn the entire town, nobody can point you out.
True story. I mean, sometimes you end up with lizard men chasing you down who became anti-paladins because we left witnesses. Isn't that right, Grimnar?
That is perfectly fair. They tried to kill us, so we set them on fire. That's what happened.
Let's be clear. I did no such thing. I handed you a necklace of fireballs, and you did what you wanted to do.
I would like to point out that I was not in the party at this time.
The group of lizardmen tried to feed us to a dragon, so they had to be dealt with.
As you can tell, we do not always play good characters. So the fact that you guys played good characters in Icewind Dale was a bit of a surprise.
Let's be honest, I just played a neutral character.
For you, that was good. I'll take it.
That's good enough.
Yep.
Take what you can get.
Yeah, you weren't burning down entire villages in that one, at least.
No, I was just looking for some bacon, man.
That's true.
So, Jacob, your turn.
Oh. Well, any stories from Jay campaign is basically just going to be a dick swing contest between Godfrey and his character Thorn. So I got plenty for Bobo. I'll tell you one of them. One of my favorites is, so near the end of the campaign, we are assaulting what is basically a Mind Flayer citadel or something like that.
Yep.
And we managed to go through it, and we find about 200 people who were taken captive and all that. Probably to be eaten later. And we had found an armory earlier. So, Bobo, the paladin, basically works them up with a rousing speech, which I actually gave at the table, telling them that they need to help us fight back and so that we can go and end all of this for good and all that. I roll like a 30 on my persuasion check. I'm about to have an army of 200 people helping us here. And then what does Grimnar do? Right as soon as my speech ends, he walks up to a Mind Flare body, cuts his head off, and yells to everybody, you either die to them or die to us. And all my work goes right out the window.
I'd forgotten about that, but yeah, that is literally how that happened. It was massively perfect persuasion check followed by a massive failure on intimidation or success on intimidation. I don't know which.
Yes.
I kept them all from dying, okay? They got to leave. They didn't need to be there.
You keep telling yourself that whatever helps you sleep at night.
I don't think we ever knew what happened to them.
Yeah,
Do you really believe your own hype?
Didn't that whole castle fall in?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, because we were on the roof when it did that, weren't we?
That's probably what happened to them. Kind of like the same thing that happened to those dwarves that time. All those children in the orphanage. Oh, man.
Well, it's always children's and orphanages that get hurt the most.
Right.
I don't know. Drew's character once clubbed a whole bunch of baby seals once.
Again, they tried to poison us.
The baby seals didn't.
Wait.
It was just the Inuit people that did.
We didn't club baby seals. We just killed their dogs, okay? We left one alive.
Okay.
I don't even remember this. I think they're just making shit up now.
No, this was in one of Mike's games.
Oh, okay.
The same
Before
one
Mike-
where you BS'd an entire dragon encounter, I think.
That's one of my favorite stories of all time. And it was
Great
amazing,
story.
and you know it.
It was.
Then what is it?
Yeah,
So
tell it.
we're at the flying castle, and only 3 of us showed up for the game that day, and it was myself. What was I playing? I was playing a warlock. I was playing Strabo.
Yeah, Strabo.
And we had a monk, an elemental monk, and a fighter. So the 3 of us
in
are
the
just
flying castle. It was in the
yes, it was.
north.
It was in the
Frozen
Cloud
Cave.
Giant's castle. It was in the Cloud Giant
Really?
castle. Yes.
Okay.
So we're making our way around, and we find some stairs leading down. And as we're going down the stairs, things are getting colder and icier. And then we come to a room, and there's just a frozen treasure everywhere. And we're like, look up, and there's a adult white dragon. We're only like level 4 or 5,
No, you were a little higher than that. Not much.
maybe 6,
Yeah.
maybe. But still, an adult dragon, not good for us. So me and the fighter are like, nah, I'm good, man. Let's just go. And the elemental monk is like, we can take him, and knocks him off the ceiling.
No, he attacked, and then the dragon just decided to, okay, fine, whomp, onto the ground.
So then there's a wing attack. Both of them get knocked down. I actually stayed on my feet. Then there's a breath attack, and I passed that save, and I've got 2 hit points left while my 2 compatriots are unconscious on the floor. And it's my turn. And I'm looking at my sheet, and I'm looking at the DM, and I'm like, oh, this sucks.
I vividly remember just grinning at you at this point.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to roll to bullshit. Mike's
You're
like,
certainly
okay,
welcome to try.
let's see what you got, buddy. Roll a nat 20. All right, you better play this out good. Because I've got like a 25. Actually, no, it was like a 28. So I'm like, all right. Hey, good job. We just want to let you know you're doing great down here. We're actually with the cult. We're just sitting down here to make sure you're up to doing your job right. We're gonna stop you right there because we don't want to hurt you. Dragon's like, hurt me? I've killed 2 of your friends. No, they're not dead. They're fine. To which Mike's like, all right, you 2 roll your death saves. Both of them roll nat 20s on their death save and stand right up. And my
I go
character's
from
like, no,
grinning
they're
to
fine,
holding
they're
my
fine.
head in my hand.
And I'm like, no, they're fine. They're fine. Shit, they're fine. No, see, they're fine. Everything's good. We don't want to hurt you, so we're just going to stop this right here and let you know we unionized while you've been down here, and it's time for your break.
Break?
Yeah, no, you get a break now. You're doing great.
I've never
Been
got a
down
break
here.
before.
He's like, I've been down here for like 5 weeks straight. What do you know? You've got a week vacation. Go for it, bud. To which the
Okay.
dragon then flies away and starts saying, I'm great. I'm great. And I'm looking at my two friends like, Jesus Christ, we are alive.
Now get up and run. Get the hell out of here.
He finally caught on to your shenanigans about 4 weeks later.
That was you being angry with me and had him just rail me.
After he comes back from Bermuda.
Yeah. Well, blow me to Bermuda.
I've just been on vacation the whole time.
Oh my God!
Wait a minute.
Disney
We're
reference
not
in the middle of the
unionized.
podcast.
Was there?
Yeah,
That's what I do.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Obscure Disney quotes in the middle of the session.
Yes, he does that a lot.
More often than not, it's breaking out to song and dance.
Yeah, we do. We all do that though. There's at least one musical thing going on every game session. At least one.
It's usually dance magic.
Dance magic dance.
Yeah.
Y'all weird.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
I ain't dancing on anywhere.
All right.
should.
So
You don't want to see me dance.
So I actually am curious. So I'm going to ask you guys. I want my players. I want their legitimate input on our current campaign. For the listeners, though, I'm going to sort of describe the campaign. I might have done it on the podcast. I don't recall. So I ran a previous campaign with these guys up to level 20. And at level 20, the game is really just sort of starting to break down. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wrap this thing up. We're done. And that was the end of it. So a couple years go by, COVID happens. I run Icewind Dale and so forth. And while running Icewind Dale, I started getting ideas for a new campaign. But I really, really enjoyed the characters from the previous campaign, Thorn and Noodle and so forth. So I'm like, how can I bring these characters back at a low level with a new campaign? So what I ended up doing was I basically had them pop up at level 20, killed them, and sent their souls 600 or so years into the future, landing in brand new bodies. It's kind of like Quantum Leap. So they arrive level 1, brand new bodies, but it's the same characters. So now they have to figure out how to go about living as these new characters in this new society where things have changed way in the future. In the process, every single one of them was having to deal with the previous situations of the bodies they landed in, as well as they've been given sort of task that they have to complete based on things they did in their previous lives to sort of fix everything that they've screwed up. So that's sort of where the setting for the campaign is at the moment. So I guess we'll start with Mike or whoever wants to go. Just sort of give me your input on my campaign, things you like, things you don't like, or just your general view on it.
I'll step in.
Go for it.
I actually really, really love this. It gave us a chance to, because we played these characters for what, like three solid years?
At least, yeah.
Like 3-4 years, yeah. We played these characters, so we know them inside and out. We know exactly what they would do to a situation, and then you throw them into a new body, and it's like, well, how much changes if just your spirit enters this body? Like it's going to be completely different, but still the same. So a lot of us have a lot of crises going on. Chris was really big with his internal crisis, and I had a lot of happy and sad moments because my warlock, who signed his soul over to a demon, devil lord actually.
Yep. Dissipator.
I no longer have my magical powers. So does this mean I no longer am required to give them my soul? Am I free? Did I just get out of a contract with a devil lord? Just plain and clear. All right, this is awesome, cool. And no, Jay's got to rip that one out from under me. So there's a happiness gone.
Maybe you haven't quite found all of that information out yet, though.
No. All I know is my contract is still out there and somebody has it. So that's another little thing I've added on to this character. And then the first night we're out camping and trying to get back to a town. It's like, oh yeah, there's a full moon. Drew, you start changing. What? Yeah, you're turning into a panther, buddy. Huh? So our wonderful monk decides to chase me down, and he tries to hit me. So I bite him and try to give him lycanthropy because he deserved it.
As you do.
There's been a lot of twists and turns and chances for characters to grow and get out of the way that they were. Because Thorn was a D-bag. He was a horrible, horrible individual to people that weren't his friends. And he didn't have a lot of friends.
He was also a douchebag to his friends.
You're not wrong.
He was less of a douchebag. He didn't try to murder you guys.
That's true. And I was always nice to Grigori.
He was your one friend.
But it's been a lot of fun to have these characters be introduced to new turmoils and new troubles and still trying to find themselves. It's deep, and the story is just very good. I can't get over that.
Guess I'll go now. I'm also really enjoying the current campaign. I'm playing Godfrey. He was a human fighter. He's now a hobgoblin monk. And as it turns out, being turned into a hobgoblin can kind of give you some anger issues and a couple of other things.
Well, Godfrey had the perfect life.
He was happy. He was a duke, or was it a baron? I think he was a baron. He had a partner he loved. He had children that he loved raising. He had pretty much the perfect life for an ex-adventurer. And then Noodle went and fucked it up.
I didn't do anything.
And so he has been very upset for most of the time that he was back. And he also has a lot of other internal stuff that's going on. But he doesn't tell anyone about that because he doesn't really like these people all that much. He keeps it to himself. But one of the things I do love currently, that we're trying to set up a rebellion, basically. And every step we take, it feels like if we fuck this up in any way, we are just done. And it's making everything we do feel very important, and we got to take it carefully. And we spend a good maybe hour almost every session going over what we're planning on doing next. And I've very much enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's a complete change from the previous campaign that I ran, because the previous campaign was sort of based on just me running stuff for you guys for entertainment value. Like I didn't have a huge campaign planned out last time because I was running it while going to school, while working full time. So it's just whatever I could throw together this weekend, you guys do. Whereas this campaign, I had years to craft it, to sort of plan this thing out. Mike?
And it's pretty obvious to me that you spent that time crafting it out. I have nothing to disagree with anything that either Drew or Jake said. It's been incredibly fun. You've given us a reason to examine our characters a little bit closer than just, numbers on a sheet of paper that deal out stupid amounts of damage with fireball spells. And you've caused us to enter into really awkward situations that we weren't really prepared for. When you approached me, Jay, and said, "Hey, Mike, I'm thinking about starting a new campaign, and you're gonna," I'm like, "Hey, I might play it." And then you said the words that you shouldn't have said. "You're gonna get to play Noodle again." And I said, "Oh, okay, I'm in, man." And then you did this to me, where I am Noodle, but I am not at the same time.
Yeah. Talk about the current character you are.
Well, I went from being an all-powerful divination wizard that sucked at divination and relied more heavily on evocation to get the job done, to, I had all of this intelligence. I had all of these spells that I'd memorized and spent decades, scouring over, and now I'm a warlock. I don't know anything about warlockiness. Where's my spell book? The first time I tried to cast a spell, I said fireball, and it was like Eldritch Blast. And I'm like, huh. So not only that, I'm now apparently connected to a patron who initially I thought was going to be an awesome patron, and now 90% of the time I find him asleep. His name is Blootblot.
Yep. What is your you're the it's the water one. Archetype. I can't remember what it is, but your patron is basically your patron is a greater water being.
Yeah, and sometimes he's very useful. He can be very talkative, but most of the time when I ask for his help, he's asleep, which is great and all, I guess.
Yep, and you actually haven't really found out a whole lot about the current body you're inhabiting's history
yet. I have not. I know this person had some criminal dealings, and I know what my goals as Noodle are to resolve my situations. But outside of that, I still don't know much about my character. He's still very much a mystery to me.
Yep.
Which I'm really wanting to learn more about.
Yeah. And Jacob, you didn't even get to discuss really the hobgoblin situation because you found out information about your character.
Okay, yeah. So apparently, my hobgoblin is a part of an order called like the Order of the Eight Golden Blades or something like that.
Yep.
And so for a while, we don't know what that is. All we know is that they're sort of like a mercenary monk order of hobgoblins that go around. And there's not that many of them, and they don't usually have too many of them around where we are. So I thought, okay, so I won't have to deal with that. Then we have to go to a hobgoblin stronghold, and they are treating me very respectfully. Like, it's getting a little uncomfortable how much respect they're showing me. And so finally, at one point, I go, I'm going to see if I can ask around without being suspicious about this. And so he walks up to a guy to ask him, and Jay tells me that this guy falls to his knees and starts begging for me to kill him. And I'm just standing there shocked, like I don't know how to respond to this.
Happily begging you to kill him, no less.
Oh yeah, he wanted me to kill him. He was so happy that I was even considering it. So I just told the guy to become stronger, and then he might be worthy of me killing him, because that sounded like something that might work. And that guy's probably either going to work himself to death or be insanely scary later. It's then I figure out that apparently the monk order that this hobgoblin was part of, the most honorable thing a hobgoblin can do is be killed by one of these people. I want to let you know, it's very uncomfortable walking around a hobgoblin fortress with that knowledge.
Yep. Yeah, it's sort of the and as you have sort of found out going forward, it's almost a religious level fervor for people to be killed by one of that order, especially a hobgoblin getting that, because that would effectively raise their entire family in status. Like this guy, if he had killed him, he would have been dead, but his family would have moved up the social ladder in the process of that happening.
And so now I also have the burden of, I'm not this hobgoblin dude. But if I tell them that, they're going to murder me.
Yeah, we've all had to be very subtle and deliberate playing this game, and we've all done a great job of being subtle and deliberate.
Except for Drew, who unfortunately has already left the podcast. He had to go.
Yeah, he has told damn near everybody who he is. Oh, I'm Thorn from 600 years ago. Suck my dick. Respect me.
Which last time we played, mind you, it's been almost a month, but the last thing that you guys sort of found out was that there was somebody running around asking questions about Lord Thorn.
Yep.
That is correct. Because of how subtle we've been.
You gotta deal with a lot of shit.
Just have the paladin go over there and just introduce himself.
We don't actually currently have a paladin in that game.
Gotta hire one then.
There you
go. So, getting close to an hour. And now there's just the two of you. Let's shit on Drew. What do you guys not like about Drew?
Oh, Drew can go eat a bag of dicks.
I'm not gonna shit on my best friend. He's just an asshole. He can't help it.
Me and Drew have made like one pairing of characters that liked each other. Every other characters we have ever made hate the shit out of each other.
I mean, if that's what you guys like to play, then keep playing it.
I don't think it's really even what we like to play. I think it's just something that happens at this point.
Yep. It's true.
What are you gonna be? All right. Let's see. I'm gonna be a tiefling warlock of the devils. Okay, I'm gonna be an Asmar angel of the angels. All right.
It's not even like that. It's more of just the characters we make hate each other.
At some point in whatever storytelling is going on, you guys do always sort of end up on opposite sides of something that happens.
But they do that in board games too, man. I mean, it's always Drew and Jake singling each other out in any game that they play, man.
That's because he's petty.
Wait, you're not?
Never said that.
I just remember in Seafall, because we were playing the board game Seafall, and like the first 2 or 3 times we played it, it was just you and Drew fucking blowing each other up on the open seas.
And then at one point, we have finally agreed we're just going to be merchants. No more fighting each other. And then the very next thing that happens is Jay and Johnny start blowing the fuck out of each other. And we go, is this what it looks like from the outside?
Let's be honest, that was not me blowing up Johnny. That was Johnny fucking me up.
He blew up your ship. The ghost from your sunken ship sunk your other ship.
Yes, that's exactly what fucking happened. Screw that game.
You were just saying how great it was last night.
No, I love that game. Fucking Seafall is wonderful.
If you can get the people together to play it regularly enough, it's amazing.
Yes.
How often does this all lead to PvP?
I know with Bobo and Grimnar, that was a running thing for a long time, because Bobo was a paladin of Cord, the god of challenges and all that shit. And so, at one point, a challenge was made to him to beat Grimnar. Bobo has never beaten Grimnar. We did a time skip at one point, and we pretty much made it a fact that once a month, Bobo challenged Grimnar to a fight, got murdered by him, resurrected at the temple, and went along with their day.
It was one of those things. I think if Grimnar had ever actually gone evil, you probably could have fucked him up.
Oh, if he had been evil, I could have done so much. Bobo was specifically built to just absolutely destroy anything with an evil alignment. Grimnar was chaotic neutral.
Aww.
Bobo could survive one round against Grimnar.
Just more than anyone else in the party.
The party marching order usually went Grimnar, Bobo, everyone else.
Yeah, because of him being a Frenzy Berserker, Frenzy Berserkers have, this is from 3rd edition, but they have one severe drawback in that when they frenzy, they attack the nearest target, period.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who it was. So we actually sort of had a tactic, with me being the sorcerer, I would just dimension door him up next to the enemy and back up 30 feet, and then he would frenzy on them.
You had an extra dimensional cage that you would put him in too, didn't you?
The Shadow Realm.
If it became a problem where we had to deal with him, it was hard to beat my saving throws when it came to wisdom scores and stuff like that. And his wisdom was reasonably low. So yeah, I could actually just put him in a pocket dimension until he cooled off, which we did a couple of times at least.
Oh, there was the time in the Maw campaign where you and Drew started.
Oh yeah, that's because he was playing caster. Whereas a lot of the characters Drew plays, they're kind of douchebags and all, but caster was fucking evil. Like he just straight up murdered innocent people, and it happened on multiple occasions. The character I was playing was I think I was neutral good. Effectively, I was playing Uncle Iroh. That's the idea behind the character. So finally, he murdered another innocent person in front of me. This was the 2nd or 3rd one. So at that point, I just turned everybody I could against him. We just murdered the shit out of him. And then Drew made a new character, and it was fine.
You don't go into PvP all that often, though.
No, we try to avoid it, and especially in my campaigns. I mean, with the character you guys are running now, you guys have been together so long, I don't think it'd be a problem. But I try to dissuade it in my games, at least in the campaigns for sure.
Yeah. I will say with Avengers League, it's always like, can I kill him? I want to stab him. Yeah. I'm evil. I want to steal all their stuff.
Oh, Jesus, that thing.
New players
I'm
are the
in
worst.
danger.
Yeah, new players are the worst. They just don't understand that it's annoying and not fun. But
it's a cooperative game.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go.
I just wanted to say, if you can learn how to play Lawful Evil, there is nothing more fun than playing Lawful Evil.
Yeah. But you have to know exactly what that means. And all the alignments are like that, or else you just wind up with the chaotic douchebags.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've effectively been playing Lawful Evil for a few decades at my LARP. But I don't generally murder people. I don't steal things. That's actually one of the rules my character has, is I don't steal anything.
But the option of murder is always on the table.
Yeah, but it has to serve a greater purpose. Yeah, just killing somebody in your party because you want their stuff is, I mean, that's a very just sort of neutral evil thing to do. It serves no purpose.
You remind me of a game that you actually DM'd, Jay, where we were nothing but a bunch of murder hobos. The one where you sent us on the quest for an ag root, that guy's leg, and an eyeball.
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Was that the Ravnica game, or was that the?
No, that was the city campaign.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was playing Dax, the lizard folk who ate people.
You guys were all a bunch of evil douchebags in that one.
I still fight that he should have been neutral.
We went into a pet store to find a raccoon.
End up murdering the shop owner, burning down the store.
No, hold on. Let Mike tell the story of how the shop owner died, right, Mike?
I don't know if I can tell. It's too hilarious. So we go in there with diplomacy in mind, theoretically, to get the raccoon, and I think he's holding the raccoon in his hands or something like that. And I sneak behind the counter and unsheath a knife, and I'm looking at Drew for advice here, which is a horrible idea. And as Drew is talking to the shopkeep, he's mouthing to me, "Just do it, just stab the guy, just go in and stab him." So of course I killed the poor shopkeep. I think I critted on him.
You critted, yeah, yep.
Yeah, I did crit.
The one hit point guy.
And we got the raccoon, and then we're attracting the attention of the police outside or something to that extent, and we have to hide the evidence, of course. So what do? We burn the building down. The only logical outcome. Yeah, it's just what you do, right?
Yeah.
During all of this, my character is just sitting outside in an alleyway waiting for them because they don't let lizard folk in the pet store. And
so that's because you eat everything in there.
Only if it's already dead.
I mean, but where else do you buy lizardmen?
Very funny. But and he just starts seeing smoke pouring out of the building, and he's just like, I'm gonna have some food for a while.
Barbecue.
Mm.
It was a short-lived campaign, but it had a lot of hijinks, so to speak.
I still fight that Dax should have been neutral.
No, in Dax's mind, he was neutral, but eating living sentient beings is evil.
He just made sure nothing went to waste. He didn't murder people to eat them. He just ate people he murdered.
Mind flayers don't murder anything. They just eat people.
When they're not converting them.
I mean, they don't convert them. They turn them into, working thralls until they make dinner out of them.
Well, yeah, there's that, I guess.
All right. Well, we just come past an hour, so we need to get some parting advice for the DMs out there who are like trying to run games or learning to run games that Jay has exhibited that you would want other DMs to also take as advice moving forward with their stuff.
Kill your players.
No, advice from my games, not from Waple's games.
No. Just kill your players occasionally so that they know for a fact it can happen.
Yeah.
That's sound advice.
It
is sound advice.
Yeah. Put some thought into your games. Make you a brief outline of a story that you want to tell. And at the same time, don't hesitate to be spontaneous or act on the fly. If something gets derailed and doesn't go your way, fine, wing it. And name every NPC gem after then if you have to. But, have fun with it. And most importantly, that's the big thing. Have fun with it. That's what we're here to do.
Also, very, very sound advice. Any parting words from you, Waples?
No, I'm waiting for Jacob.
I gave you my words. Kill your players.
Real words.
I
think he's being serious.
I am being serious. Your players need to know that is a legitimate threat that can happen. If you have a game where they have no concern for their well-being at all, it gets boring.
All right. No, I ain't got nothing because I'm busy. So busy, it won't end.
Welcome to 2022. Hopefully, we'll have another full year of this stuff.
Oh yeah, 2022. How long have you?
By 2021. Fuck you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Have fun storming the castle.
So long. The grumpiness has been your friend. Now go and spread anger through D&D. No, don't do that. Be happy, be friendly, be awesome, but maintain the boiling hate that inside your heart. I don't know, buddy. I'm rambling at this point. Shut me up and end this podcast.